Hello, everyone, and welcome to Culture of Gaming's Power Up Podcast Nintendo Direct Smash Brothers Special. That's a lot of qualifiers. Anyway, I'm your host, Taylor, and I'm joined by an absolute dream team to discuss Smash Brothers with me. I'm joined by Ethan.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. Anthony.
My PC's just clinging on, trying to manage 5 people, but it's getting there, so I'm doing well.
It's going.
It's going,
all right.
Yeah.
Omar.
Good morning, Australia.
Yeah, 11 a.m.
And good night, US. And, of course, John.
Yeah, I was just about to say goodnight, Iowa.
It's like early evening West Coast, so West Coast, Best Coast. Anyway, yeah. And so, this is a little bit different than a normal Power Up Podcast episode, as we are going to primarily focus on the Smash Brothers Nintendo Direct that occurred at the lovely time of 7 a.m. this morning. That was
Or
really
12
fun.
a.m. for me.
Even better. But, like, primetime premiere on Friday night in Japan time. So,
Yeah.
anyway. So, make sure you check out Culture of Gaming on all the social media sites you can think of. Discord, we have a community Discord group where you can talk to everyone that's on the podcast here on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And so, yeah.
always there.
Yeah, you can do a link to that in our main site. It's on the sidebar. It's like 2 or 3 panels down. And then facebook.com/cog.net, twitter.com@cog.net, Instagram @cultureofgaming, youtube.com. We still have a fun, you still have a fun custom URL for that yet. But if you want to help us out with that, then one lucky subscriber on YouTube will be winning a full-priced game of their choosing. That is a game of about $59.99 USD of their choosing. But you have to be subscribed to our YouTube channel, and we have to break 100 subscribers. Anyway, twitch.tv/cultureofgaming. There is a decent chance you're probably here right now. And of course, Power Up Podcast specifically has a MySpace page, myspace.com/powerpod.
I know.
Anyway, so we're all here to do to talk about one thing, and that is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, Ethan, before the Direct today, there is a little bit of a prelude that some people might want to know about, or maybe they didn't follow closely, but because you're the biggest nerd here that followed it, how about you tell us about it?
So yeah, it like Taylor said, if you haven't been following it, if you have been following, this isn't going to get news to you. But for the past couple weeks or so, really for the past couple of months, but really prominently for the past couple of weeks, there's been a lot of rumors and leaks, supposedly kind of circulating around Smash Brothers Ultimate, and it's kind of got the entire community in an uproar, at least before this Direct. So I'll kind of go through real quick, talk about what exactly went down. About August or so, there was this famous leaker. His name is, like, I don't know how to pronounce it, Vergeben, something along those lines. He's pretty famous for having like pretty reliable inside sources. He was able to predict that Ridley was going to be announced ahead of E3. Not an 100% accurate source, but generally known to be pretty reliable. So whenever he predicted in August, he said that from his sources, he was predicting that Incineroar, the Gen 7 Pokemon, which we'll talk about later, was going to be in Smash Brothers Ultimate. It kind of rose to the top. It didn't rise until the top until about mid-October. I'd say like October 15th or something along those lines, when other sources like Game Explain, a few other places, I don't remember which, said also that from some of their sources, anonymous obviously, they were also getting reports that Incineroar was going to be in Smash Brothers, and they felt very, very confident on that fact. So that was the first leak, right? Second leak, a little more infamous, is the Grinch leak. Now, the story with this is that around last week or so, a guy that supposedly worked at a French marketing firm for both Bandai Namco and Illumination. He sent out a Snapchat to one of his buddies, supposedly, of some like documents, some artwork from both the Grinch, which was supposedly the marketing firm again was working on, and Smash Brothers. Some, like, you know, the banner at the top, the "Everyone is Here" banner that they keep on adding the characters to.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this specific banner was that there was something different about it, in that there were about 6 or 7 new characters on there that Nintendo hadn't announced at all yet. Namely, the most prominent ones were Isaac from Golden Sun, Banjo-Kazooie, and Ken from Street Fighter, which again we'll talk about a little bit later. But so the internet kind of exploded about this, specifically the Smash community. It seemed it seemed like a little higher caliber than the leaks we'd kind of seen before. So at the time, it seemed like a legitimate leak, right? What cemented that was this Grinch image where you could kind of barely see it in the shot, the crappy Snapchat photo he took, but it was a picture of Max, the Grinch's dog, from the upcoming movie The Grinch, right? The thing about this particular picture, though, that normally wouldn't mean anything, but this particular picture, after scouring the internet, that particular picture wasn't in any of the Grinch's marketing material, that particular render of Max. So because of that, because of the fact that they were able to kind of locate the guy's LinkedIn and find out that he worked at this firm and that this firm was working on both Illumination and Bandai Namco, it was kind of easy to connect the dots there, I suppose. But there was only one problem. That particular banner that he leaked did not contain an image of the Pokemon Incineroar, which people, again, like Game explained in this leaker guy Vergben, he said that they were very, very confident Incineroar is going to be in Smash Brothers. So a lot of kind of media outlets were saying, we don't believe this leak and we're not going to report on it. So, like everything else on the internet, it turned into a controversy. They made an entire hashtag out of it, Team Fake versus Team Real. Literally just bantering back and forth about it on Twitter, saying I think the leak is the leak is real. I think the leak is fake. That was the thing going on pretty much all of last week, and all this happened before they announced the Nintendo Direct. Like before, what was the day before yesterday? They officially announced it.
Yeah, we knew about the Direct on Tuesday, by the way.
Yes. So that was the climate going into the announcement of the Nintendo Direct. So I feel like going into this Direct, we had somewhat of a presupposition, somewhat of an expectation. Like, okay, answer some questions here. Is this leak real or not? And obviously, and so that was the entire circumstance surrounding it. And as we'll discuss in a minute, that at the very beginning of the Direct, we couldn't really tell if it was real or not. But then as it went on, it definitely turned out to be fake. Before we hop into that, though, what do you guys think of this entire controversy? Were you on either side? Were you following it?
All right, so we talked on the normal episode of Power Up Podcast that was on Sunday. We talked a little bit about the Smash leak and everything, but this whole Twitter banter thing is completely unbeknownst to me.
It was bad. It was really bad.
I think my opinion back on the podcast was it could go either way. I think he could get a lucky guess on some of them, but not sure. But I know Andrew thought it was pretty credible.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, it had all the makings credible.
It did. I believed it. I was sucked into it. It's probably one of the most well done leaks I've ever seen, to be honest. You were mentioning the Metal Gear Solid 5 leak just before the podcast. I don't know if you want to describe that or not, but
so basically Hideo Kojima is very known for his attention to detail and everything. Yeah. And this dude on /V, which is the 4chan video game board, I think this happened either a few months before Metal Gear Solid 5's release, or it could have been upwards of a year before. But he basically leaked a bunch of stuff concerning Metal Gear Solid 5, because that was a very hype game before it came out. And so it basically he described such nitpicky details in the game that it's oh yeah, this would definitely only make sense in a Kojima game or whatever type thing. Certainly things that Kojima would put into his game. And one of the funnier parts about it is that Kazuhiro Miller, one of the characters in Metal Gear, is the leaker said that Kazuhiro Miller was really, really racist in this game. And so that thing kind of stuck, and there's a meme format about that, but that's kind of besides the point. But anyway, it's just when it comes to leaks, it's important that there is a degree of credibility, whether or not it's an infamous leaker. If you have a guy that's constantly reporting on leaks or whatever, or constantly leaking stuff that turns out to be accurate, you gain credibility, and that's a super duper important aspect of it. But also at the same time, if you're a new leaker, so to speak, that is, you're just some dude who claims to be XYZ or whatever with this information, then it's super important you don't get too ahead of yourself or get like too caught up in your own beliefs, because one thing that we also talked about on Saturday was that this leak does kind of seem a little bit too good to be true.
Yeah.
Just, like, it definitely seems like all things that someone wants to have happen.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that. Always walk around with a bag of salt to take a grain of every once in a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Omar, John, what were some of your thoughts on this whole thing, the leak?
I wanted to believe it, but it just seemed like too much because
Sure.
right away at E3, Sakurai said that there weren't going to be very many new characters. And then suddenly there's this huge explosion of new characters that I'm not sure exactly how many it would have been with the ones that were in the Grinch leak. But
There were 7 leaked there.
Yeah, 7. That sounds right.
We would have gone close to 80 then.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Goodness.
it's going to be close to. It's going to be 79 one, right?
Yeah, I think you might be
79,
right.
80 once
Yeah.
the DLC
It'll be 80, yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, it just seemed like too much for the base game.
Okay.
Sure,
And
that's fair.
Just all the stuff from Game Explain kind of made me sway more towards it being fake, just because I usually trust them.
Yeah, hey, I mean, good on Game Explain. They are, man, I really admire them as a company. They are really hot. They have a good work ethic, and I think that's it shows in that. I'm gonna have to trust them a little more from now on because they call it.
It's really cool that they stuck to their sources.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, how do we
then-
know that they weren't leaking the DLC characters that they're going to be doing?
That's a good point. I
So-
think maybe we could get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Speculation about DLC characters.
Yeah.
That's
So
something I
the
do
one
want to talk
thing
about.
that really made me think, because in the last week since that leak happened, I was thinking, okay, this would be amazing if these guys came out, but I was more leaning towards if it is real, it's DLC.
Yeah.
The one
So,
thing
like-
that
No, keep going.
took me away from that though is during the direct today, Shadow the Hedgehog, who was one of the characters in that leak, showed up as an assist trophy in the screen
That's right.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just kind of took everything away from it for me.
There's that, and also the Grinch leak alleged that there would be, or included some Echo Fighters also.
Yeah, true.
And then
Mhm.
Sakurai said that, the DLC characters won't be Echo Fighters.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's
So-
a good point. That's a very good point. Well, maybe we should stop waffling about the leak and actually get into the meat itself, right?
Is that the end of it? Or
Yeah,
okay.
I guess so.
Essentially, yeah.
All right,
let's
so
say bye.
yeah,
The leak was
So-
fake.
yeah, the leak was fake.
Fake would say.
Team Fake
So-
wins.
Well, anyway, so that brings us to today. Of course, the Smash Direct was earlier, and oh my God, this was such an information dump. Good
It was
lord,
great. It was fantastic.
yeah. Oh, it was kind of a lot to process. But anyway,
Oh, for sure.
So what do we know at the end of it? We know all about their online service. We know for this game specifically, and Nintendo's expanded online service launched back in September. And it was earlier in October. Earlier in October.
September.
Oh, was it
September,
September? Okay, I was right the first time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, sorry about that. Anyway, we got a little bit of a story mode type thing, similar to it's like Subspace Emissary, but bigger and better, from how Sakurai kind of seemed to describe it. And we got the finalized roster and amiibos and DLC plans. There's a lot of stuff to unpack. So let's kind of get into the roster. It's like the two main characters that we got off from it was Ken, which is Ryu Echo Fighter, and then Incineroar. So Anthony, what was your favorite of the two there?
Probably Incineroar, just mainly because I've actually never seen him before. Didn't know what he was, and I'm watching him like, who is this guy?
Frankly, I was the same situation. I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan.
Like I haven't played many like Pokemon games or whatnot. So, but like he looks pretty cool. He's got some wrestling moves and whatnot. Which I don't. Have they got any other wrestling characters involved, like with that kind of moveset?
Come to think of it, I don't.
Well, the way they kind of built him up was kind of like a boxer. I mean, he was fighting Little Mac, and then at the end of that, they showed Bowser Jr. like getting ready to box him.
Yeah,
too.
that was fun.
Yeah.
In terms of like wrestling characters, though, I think that might be kind of like the first.
Yeah.
Or I guess a similar thing to compare it to is like, are there any characters that are like better at grappling as
Yeah,
opposed
true.
to.
True.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that might be a
sure.
better way to typecast it.
Well, my mind kind of automatically went to Zangief, but like that's obviously not a Smash
Yeah.
Bros. Character.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be an interesting assist trophy.
it would.
Yeah,
it would.
be. It would be.
Interesting
We'll talk about Guile later.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
find
lost it when I saw
Incineroar.
that.
I want to see how Incineroar. They briefly mentioned it, but every time he lands an attack, he goes into like this victory pose animation.
yeah.
Sakurai said you could cancel out of that immediately after, but I'm
Yeah,
wondering.
it's an instant cancel.
Yes, a
Yeah.
castle. Why is that? How can you work that in a certain way to the point where you can use that to your advantage? Yeah, is it?
I
Is
don't
it
think
just
you'd
a
be
fact-
able to. I don't think you'd be able to.
Well, it's not just
Yeah,
that.
so-
I mean, is it more going to be like you're overwhelmed? Like if that's just an extra thing that you've got to do and you got someone coming at you, are you going to kind of get overwhelmed and be like, oh, I've got to cancel. Oh, no, I forgot to cancel. Oh, I'm dead kind of thing.
No, the way that it's like the way that it was described and that I understand it is that it's more of like every time after he attacks or something and it lands, it alternates between different idle animations type thing.
Ah, so if you
Oh,
move, it
that's-
cancels it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's like there
okay.
won't be. It's like you know how in a taunt you have to wait for the taunt
Yeah.
to finish.
Yeah.
This certainly isn't the case type thing. You know, it's definitely
Kind of
just-
reminds me of Bayonetta's up taunt, which is just an infinite loop of a dance that you can automatically cancel out of any time.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
kind of similar anyway. I think another thing I find really, really interesting, his counter is probably the most unique counter in the entire game I've seen so far.
Is that
so
the one where
the
he
way-
throws the dude against the wrestling?
No,
thing?
so that
No, okay.
that's a sidey. That's interesting too. But the
Okay.
way that Incineroar's counter works is that he counters an attack, but he doesn't immediately attack back. Instead, whenever you counter, the attack that you immediately use afterwards, however long after that is powered up.
Oh,
So-
okay, yeah.
It's
a
like
different
it's
kind of
called
counter.
it's called revenge, and he like actually has to take the damage to like build up his anger and everything to attack
yeah.
back.
Which I think is a really cool idea. I
Imagine someone more well versed in Pokemon to tell us how close he is to like his in-game characterization. You know,
I'm no help there.
Aiden,
no
where
help.
I didn't
I
play
mean-
Sun and Moon, so
Knowing Sakurai, it's got to be pretty damn close, right?
yeah. All right, so Omar, you like Incineroar or Incineroar?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
You were
okay.
talking about the side B move where he throws him against the ropes.
Yeah,
kinda
I
like
saw
Yeah.
that, and I thought that
It-
was really
it
interesting because
actually-
it was so skill based. Keep going.
Yeah,
though.
it reminded because they're talking about how he's more like a wrestler and he has wrestling moves. It reminded me actually of wrestling games where you'll do an Irish whip.
Oh yeah.
And then you actually have to time it correctly to do certain moves, or if you don't do anything, it just runs into you.
Yeah.
It's like kind of something like that they added in. It's
Incineroar confirmed for WWE 2K20.
I wouldn't even be mad.
He's
Anyway,
the cover athlete.
yeah.
We
So-
briefly mentioned it. Are we going to talk about Ken for a little bit?
I was about to say, yeah, let's give a little bit of love towards
Okay.
Ken, who,
'Cause-
again, is Ryu's Echo Fighter.
Right.
One thing that Ken really proved to me, and although it's like I didn't subscribe to this camp, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Echo Fighters are kind of a lazy way of doing things, but they really highlighted it with Ken and everything. That's just like, you know, these Echo Fighters are definitely unique in their own ways type thing. You know?
like there are hands in the middle of his Hadoken.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I think he also Sakurai also gave his team a lot of like, I don't know what the word would be, maybe credibility there when he's like, you guys know Luigi's like the original Echo Fighter.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Echo Fighters have been happening for decades now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good
So-
point. I find it interesting that you can use the Street Fighter style button inputs for Ken's kicks as well, because you've always been able to use like a down, forward for obviously for like Ryu Sudoken or do Shoryuken or stuff like that. But in terms of like his actual like kicking animations, that's never really been a thing in Smash Brothers. So I find that interesting. Do any of you have like any sort of experience with like Ken in Street Fighter 2 or 3 or 4? No? Okay.
I don't really play
As far-
Street Fighter.
As far as
Sure.
I know from like Street Fighter, that was like Ken was super duper similar to Ryu type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they've modeled him in this game. They modeled him off. What is it? Street Fighter 2 Supercharged or something?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, something like
With
that.
like little tidbits from newer games, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
And okay, so in general, are you guys okay with the with like the Echo Fighter thing? I just want to
oh, absolutely.
opinion piece. Okay.
Why not? May as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's like I got no problems with that.
It's great. Yeah,
I mean,
the only one
yeah.
that I think is really a bad decision is Pichu because it hurts itself every time it attacks. Like, it's
Sure.
seriously like it's not a good thing. So,
Hmm.
but besides that, all the others are fine.
Yeah.
I think one thing that this direct kind of highlighted is like I don't think there's going to be any part of this game without a degree of polish to it. You know, everything looks
Oh yeah.
really well thought out. It looks very developed. You know,
Which
even
is
on the Echo
interesting.
fighters. Like the Echo
Yeah,
fighters are a lot more than just like a Control C, Control V sort of thing.
Yeah.
Omar, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, the echoes are great. They add extra stuff to the game that normally wouldn't have been in there, and just more options to play as that are different from just like changing skins, like
Yeah.
from American Mario to Wedding Mario.
That's Golf Mario. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And also, I mean, it also just adds in more of that kind of like fan fiction fun. Like,
Oh yeah.
think
That's
of
true.
who. How else would we know who would win in a fight between Princess Peach and Daisy?
Right.
True.
That's a good
So-
point.
Yeah.
There's no other
So,
universe. that can
It
do
just
that.
adds more fun to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've been doing it for years anyway. Like the old Mario Golf on Nintendo 64, you had like Peach and Daisy, and who was the other guy? Mario and I think it was Harry or whatever his name was. So it's good.
Dr. Mario?
No. This is on like one of the original Mario Golfs.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's good that they're actually coming out and saying, hey, this is what we're doing now, and this is kind of the segregation between characters. And
But they're
I'd
not
like...
clones.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
echoes.
They're
Yeah,
unique.
exactly.
They're unique.
It's
like,
a much nicer name. It's easier. It's not negative.
it's like Luigi's
yeah.
different to Mario.
Yeah.
You know, at the very least, at the NFL, Nintendo certainly knows how to market it, sort of thing,
Yeah.
from a negative
yeah.
connotation to a positive connotation. You know,
Mm.
so I'm
Yeah.
sure that helps things a lot. All right, and then more instead of looking at the new characters joining the roster, let's talk about the roster count. We mentioned earlier it's going to be flipped to 80, but you only start off with 8.
Yeah.
This is great.
That-
This is
yes,
fantastic.
I
That's
love
probably the thing that has me the most hyped about this game.
I don't. You know, I think it's kind of funny that we're all excited about being so limited
Right?
from day one, but at the same time, like that feeling of progression, I think, is just unrivaled. In that's what the video game industry is known for, is progression.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's kind. I found it kind of funny seeing like after like 20 years, seeing like just this really small roster screen for like a couple seconds, just like 8. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you start out with.
Briefly,
Yeah.
for those of
Coolest
you
thing.
not in the know or whatever, it's that you start off with the 8 OG Smash characters.
Yeah.
So it's Link, Mario, Luigi, Captain Falcon, Jigglypuff, Pikachu, Samus, and Donkey Kong. Did I forget
Not,
any?
not Jigglypuff. It's the
Not Jigglypuff?
It's the original 8.
Okay.
Because Jigglypuff was an unlock. in the
Oh,
first.
right.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, I see. I got you.
Yeah,
Oh, so
it's
no
Mario,
Luigi.
Donkey Kong, Link, Samus, Fox, Pikachu, Yoshi, Kirby.
Okay, gotcha. My bad.
All right. So, yeah, Anthony, what do you think of such a? Do you think it's gonna be? Do you think it'll come off as more grindy, or do you actually think people will super enjoy, going through 70 some odd times?
Well, I
Getting-
mean, with sports games, for instance, with the older Mario sports games like Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, all that, you had to grind to unlock the characters, and that was the progression system in the game. That was like the only progression system that they had. I mean, in this, I'm not really too sure what other elements of progression they're going to introduce, but I mean, it's good to see that they're still keeping it kind of to their roots, and I would grind 70 odd times because that's the fun of it. And I think that's what I did in the Wii version when you started off with just a couple and you had to unlock all of the different ones.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea, and I think they should do more games like that, to be honest.
Awesome,
Yeah, and,
awesome. And I think
that was
it's
definitely
like
something. Sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna say, I think that was definitely something that was lacking in Smash 4. Like in Brawl, yeah, you
Yes,
start off with a
100%.
small roster, and then in Smash 4, like maybe you had done like 10, 12, something like that. Considering it was like a 60+ roster, I mean, not
But
that much. so.
yeah, and there was no because I only played it on 3DS. There was no discernible progression method at all in the Wii U
Right.
version.
Yeah.
Like it was just, I'll go and do this. Oh well, what does that do, kind of thing. So
I agree.
I'm also pretty sure that if for the people that don't want to unlock all those people, I'm pretty sure it will be a lot like the Wii version, where if you play through the single player, you're gonna be unlocking pretty much everyone anyway.
Sure.
So anyone that wants to do it a quick way, personally, I hope that there's a little more of those like crazy ways to unlock people. Like in Melee, to unlock Luigi, you had to finish the Mushroom Kingdom level with like a 2 at the end of the timer.
Right.
And then he just comes in, knocks Mario out, and you fight him and Peach instead. Like, I love that kind of way to unlock characters in Smash Brothers, so I hope there's a version of that in there. But, I mean, either way.
Should be. Huh?
That's fair. Omar?
I've already brought it up a couple of times, but I like the idea that we start out small, grow to something bigger. I just think it's really weird that this is the final Smash Direct, and they made a big deal about how you start small, unlock more characters, and they never said how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
They said that there's a mode that, like in the last Direct, they said there's a mode that's going to be used for unlocking characters. They never confirmed that it was Spirits. But
Well, Spirits is the one. I don't think they ever said that was the mode to unlock people, though.
Right. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
They just said
It's
that
odd
they had a
didn't
single
change
player
it.
mode that they were going to talk about later.
Yeah. And okay, before we're getting into the spirits topic, because that's a lot. I do want to say that, I think in terms of progression, Whoa.
What is that?
Did my
Wait,
fire
huh?
alarm just go off? Hold on.
Smoke alarm.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Gotcha.
a second.
Okay, you want me to continue on?
Let's talk Spirits, I guess.
Well, we got to keep it up to the. We got one more thing we got to talk about before Spirits, and that's they announced a few amiibo. Do you guys collect amiibo? I used to be pretty big into amiibo. I have a pretty sizable collection.
I see your Mario
Nice.
down there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the big one, right? Like
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu. Oh gosh, I'm jealous. That's awesome. Well, they announced a few new amiibo, including Inkling, Ridley, Wolf, Ice Climbers, King K. Rool, Isabelle Pichu, Young Link, Ken, and Daisy. I think it's cool that they're kind of continuing along the Smash line. I'm glad that they didn't reset it, like, because obviously you have all your Smash 4 amiibo. It would have just been awful, in my opinion, if they made totally new Smash Ultimate amiibo, because then I don't know. Then you would have had to like reset the entire thing. I don't know.
Have
The one-
that much money.
Yeah,
the one
I mean,
good thing with Nintendo is they are really good about making sure their products last in the future. Now, if this were like a Sony product, then they would probably try and find a way to resell you all this stuff. But Nintendo, with at least their hardware, they're generally pretty good about having it move forward.
That's good.
Sorry about that. Sorry
No
about
problem.
that. Anyway, back to what I was saying about progression. It's that basically, I think there's going to be, there are definitely certain points where, people will hit the grind hard because, they want to get back to their main or something like that, have that unlocked or whatever, especially if they want to carry over from the last game. Like, for example, I didn't see myself grinding out until I'd get Zero Suit Samus pretty hard, and then maybe exploring a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, she's my main in Smash, so.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway,
We were just talking about the new amiibo. We were just talking about how I'm really glad that they didn't decide to reset the entire Smash Bros. Line of amiibo. They're just kind of continuing along from like the Smash 4 set. I think it would have been bad for like a lot of collectors if they had just reset the entire line and made like 79 more amiibo.
Oh god.
Why not?
Yeah.
Come on.
Why
At
not?
least
Nice.
now, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they're reprinting the other Smash ones, so to speak.
I
believe
that makes
so.
sense. Probably, yeah.
From what I've heard, yeah.
Yeah.
At least some of them.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan on getting any of these? I might pick up Ken. He looks his model looks really cool.
I will probably grab a Young Link because that one looks real
Oh,
awesome.
gosh.
I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. I even have Young Link on my arm here.
Oh my gosh. that's
Oh
awesome.
wow.
Awesome.
So yeah, I thought that one looked really cool. I would have been okay with them also showing Breath of the Wild Link for a new amiibo for a Smash.
Oh, that would have been it. Yeah.
Yup.
Taylor's having
Okay.
so many issues.
Yup.
Doing well.
We interrupt your weekly Power Up podcast for a fire alert.
Take the battery out of it. That usually stops them.
Yeah, it usually stops it. You're at risk of not being notified when your house is on.
Oh,
Stops
well,
the
that's
annoying
okay.
sound.
Yeah.
Put it back
You
into
got-
the podcast stuff.
You want to move on to the next topic, John?
Well, I was just gonna say, Omar, are you gonna grab any?
I may or
yeah.
may not have them all pre-ordered right now.
That's
awesome.
great. That is really awesome. That is
All right.
really awesome. So you seem eager to talk about spirits. What is spirits exactly?
So spirits look like there was so much put into it that I didn't really get all of it.
Sure, I
Like-
understand.
Like there was so much time dedicated to explaining it and everything. All I got out of it was, okay, spirits are all of these different characters in the Smash universe, all the side characters from the roster that these are just people that you can't fight as, but they wanted to give them some representation, so they are power-ups to your character now.
So there was a legit fire.
Wait, what?
There was a legit fire, a candle in
Oh.
the other bedroom, just
I
kind of
see.
ignited.
Oh, just keep
see.
ignoring
You
it.
scared me.
Yeah, but we're good now. We're good now.
I think the way that they kind of pitched the spirits was a replacement for the trophies, which is an interesting way to do it, because the trophies, I always appreciated them for their aesthetic value and how they're kind of just these nice collectibles. But now they have somewhat of a function to them. Overall, I'm not sure how I feel about spirits. I just don't think it's something I'm going to touch that much. We should probably talk about it a little bit more.
Oh God! You want to talk about like progression system in games? This is
Goodness, yeah.
This is gonna keep people playing a lot. Just gonna.
It seems like some sort of version of Pokemon cards. If you want to find the closest comparison, at least I can. Taylor, do you want to go over them, or I could kind of list off the details, or?
Yeah. So basically. Well, I'm most excited for the spirits. You know, we got the boss, Howl, Emmerich, Ocelot, Kazuhira, Burger, Flipper, Miller, all from Metal Gear, so I'm happy they're spirits. But anyway, as far as I understand it, spirits, there is some lore behind them and whatnot, as I think you guys might have brought up in terms of they replaced the collectible trophy system, but instead of being like cosmetics or just like pretty statues to look at, they actually serve a function and everything. There are 3 types of spirits, as well as different rankings of spirits, and the 3 types operate in a rock, paper, scissors sort of fashion to beat each other, cancel each other out. You can power up, you can have like a primary spirit and then like 3 support spirits to add like skills to the primary spirit. And then I think that there's going to be a large like meta game surrounding, what spirits are really good on this character for XYZ,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think.
Do you think this has the potential to form? This obviously this isn't going to be popular in like the competitive Smash other scene, but do you think this has the potential to like kind of form its own little community?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm saying like, do you think this will gain a following? Because it doesn't seem like it has much impact outside of its own mode. So I'm wondering what exactly is the incentive to raise these spirits up, other than the fact of collecting them and owning them. I don't know if there's much there.
That's the thing too, is that you can get rid of them. Like you keep like the core ability, but you get rid of them to get new ones too.
And
Which is
you can
really
pair
weird.
up. You can pair up other characters as well, can't you? Like you can.
Yeah.
Do they go into
That's right.
Shadow Fighters or into your main? I thought they only went into Shadow Fighters. Because you can like delete them and then the power goes into a different character, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's all confusing. Like I said,
It was
earlier,
very
they just-
confusing. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
They spent so much time on it, and they talked about it so much that I got lost. I didn't know.
Yeah, I was going to bring
going
that
on.
up also. It's like, they spent a lot of time on it, but I still think a lot of people are really unclear.
Yes.
So, yeah. Omar,
I think
are you
that-
feeling
yeah.
a similar thing?
Yeah, I was thinking it's a nice feature. It kind of reminded me of the stickers from Brawl.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And then like the different power boosting.
Yeah, equipment from Smash 4. Yeah.
It's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Some people might like it. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But it at least is for me in the fact that it's a collectible. So that's what I like doing in Smash besides playing competitively, is collecting everything, completing all the different challenges.
Yeah.
Sure.
But as far as actually equipping them and leveling them up, I doubt that will ever happen.
Yeah.
I noticed I think one thing, kind of a little thing I wanted to point out is that all of the spirits they have like a ranking. I think it's novice to oh goodness,
Legendary.
novice, advanced, yeah, advanced, ace,
Ace.
legend. So, ace, and then legend. And in the example they provided, they had Mauser from Super Mario Brothers 2. That guy is hard. Okay, I'm just saying, like Mauser from Super Mario Brothers 2 is a hard freaking boss. That's a hard game. I don't approve of that. That should be much higher up on that list. I'm sorry.
I think this is going to have to be one of those systems, though, that we're going to have to really play and find out whether or not it'll be something we're all individually into or not. Because I can definitely imagine, some people just want to theorycraft the hell out of all the or out of all the spirits and whatnot to figure things out and whatnot. And then there are people that would be like, you know what, I don't touch it. I play this game super duper competitive. I really don't care. And I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's like one thing that was kind of brought upon from Smash Ultimate is that Nintendo tries to make this everyone's Smash. And more ways than one. It's just like there's something for all audiences to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of too early to have an opinion on spirits as of yet because we don't know. Like, we know enough, but that was too much, kind of thing. So I think, as you said, Taylor, once we get hands on with it or whatnot, then we'll figure it out. Then I reckon. I think.
And I think another nice thing about it is like it definitely seems like there's been some thought put into it. It's not just a tacked-on system or anything.
Yeah.
There's definitely a very clear set of intricacies that Nintendo has added, and they have a plan for it.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. I feel like every time that Nintendo tries to implement a mode other than the regular Smash Brothers, regular Smash mode, aside from like Subspace Emissary, I just always feel like it's inferior to the regular game and kind of ends up being shoved off to the side. Like in Smash 4 specifically, like Smash Tour took up like this huge slot on the menu, and like you never go there. Yeah. There's crazy orders and master orders, which I don't remember the last time I've touched those modes. I haven't gone into All Star for a really long time. I just play Smash for the regular mode, and I guess again that's the thing of like Nintendo's trying to appeal to a wide and massive audience, but I don't know what casual audience is going to want to play this as much as just regular Smash Brothers. Hey,
Omar, you think you'll be into it?
Yeah, I always like the other single-player modes like Adventure and Classic and All-Star, just because they're the closest thing that they have to just like a regular kind of Smash battle.
Yeah.
Because most of the time I'm playing by myself, so
sure, same.
By myself,
same.
Yeah.
It can get a little tiring just playing against computers over and over again. It's like I'm going to go to this stage and play against this computer instead. It's nice to have just like a set list to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do this or finish this specific challenge.
Okay.
And it also looked like you could carry some of it over to multiplayer. Like I thought I heard them mention something about there's a way to fight other people with your spirits. I mean, obviously not like online.
This almost came off as the whole like amiibo trading thing you could do.
Yeah.
Like those
Smash
badge things.
Yeah. Those were kind of fun, I guess. I will actively, if this turns out to be a thing that you can enhance your Smash mode, I will actively avoid that at all costs. I guarantee that one.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Anyway, so speaking of decently thought out systems, the multiplayer details, we got a ton of. I think they went into a little bit too much detail for it, to be quite honest, but whatever, it's fine. So of course, you get your local and online multiplayer, but the online thing is quite a bit. Basically, yeah, it's pretty in depth. It adopts a more traditional matchmaking model that other games have. Although personally, I don't know about you guys, I'm still super duper iffy about the fact that there's no casual mode type thing. Because, even a game as simple as Hearthstone even has a casual unranked mode,
Right.
So it's like, that's kind of sad to see. They replaced it with what is more or less a traditional MMR system that takes what game mode, so to speak, and that is like your role preferences, trying to translate to a game mode.
Yeah.
In a sense. And they kind of combine it and find other people that are playing your game mode, more or less, and are of similar MMR to you, or as they call it, what is it, like a global ranking or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Global Smash.
Yes. Yeah.
Global Smash. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all
GSP.
Yeah, I gotta give Nintendo credit though. They certainly know how to brand this sort of stuff. You know?
Oh yeah,
It's
for
just
sure.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the first part of it. And one thing that's interesting too is that they do per champion per smasher GSP.
Yes, yeah, I
Loosely,
noticed that.
I
loosely.
thought that was really interesting.
It's like that's kind of a factor, you know. So it's like if you did a really high GSP with one champion, you go to switch to another, your GSP will still be fairly high, but not as much as that champion.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite part is they had an anti-smurf protocol in it, where it's like if you were purposely trying to derank yourself, then it would penalize
Yeah,
you.
that makes sense.
I really like
smart.
that. Yeah. Anyway, so Omar, what do you think of the implementation here for multiplayer? Do you think it's pretty solid, or?
It concerns me. Just
really?
Yeah, where you can pick 1v1 and then not possibly get that with no items and all the good stages that you want. I almost preferred for Glory to that.
Well,
Even
here's
though
the thing.
For Glory, you only got Final Destination, and that's not a fair stage for every character. But...
I think it did. I don't know if we mentioned this, but there's also a mode called Elite Battles, which is essentially the ranked version of that. I think there is technically.
Well, no, Elite Battles is more like Challenger or something from Elite, or like Grandmaster from StarCraft.
Is that right?
It's like if you have a high enough GSR, you're kind of in this separate league type thing, where it's basically, but you have to hit the high enough GSR in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's GSP, Global Smash Power.
GSP, my bad.
That was another thing that kind of concerned me, because there will just be that option on the menu sitting there for the majority of people, or I shouldn't say the majority because I'm not sure exactly what the cutoff will be, but for a large number of people, I'm sure it'll just not be an option. It'll just be sitting there taunting people for their
just not be used. All right,
Well,
John.
I was just gonna say, I also wonder though if it will really come down to your skill or just how much you play the game. Because like, what if it's one of those things where, okay, I got to win, so I win up 10 points. Okay, next game I lose. Well, like in Mario Kart, even when you lose, they still give you some points towards your rating. So it just pretty much could come down to just how much you play.
Okay, that's also a fair counterpoint. Nintendo doesn't like to take things away from people.
No.
At all. Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
money.
Except money, true.
Yeah, it's not money, of course, but yeah. All right, Anthony.
I had some issues with this as well.
Am I the only one that likes this pretty hard?
Pardon?
Am I the only one that likes this pretty hard?
Well,
I like it. I like it. I mean,
Okay.
compared to, I think, obviously Nintendo is very, very behind the curve with online. You don't need me to tell you that. You all know.
Yeah.
The furthest they've ever gotten with online was Splatoon, which worked all right, I guess. This does seem like a next step up for them. This seems like almost on par with like legitimate online services, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
If you can invite your friend.
Now, there's the other thing. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. There's a battle arena.
Yeah, Anthony, finish your thought. Though.
I mean,
What were you gonna say?
I don't have issues with like the whole skill points or anything like that. I've more got issues with the whole matchmaking setup, because over here, like, we have crap internet, like, full stop. We have really bad internet, so I don't see how it's going to work. Because like, if someone's trying to play a match of Smash, for instance, I mean, the whole thing is where it groups together people who have got the same preferences and from the same country and that kind of thing. I don't see that working here, to be honest.
I mean, that's kind of
Anthony lives in Australia, by the way.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
wanted to point
that's
that out.
kind of any other given matchmaking system, though.
Yeah,
Like, you play your, like, Call of Duty matchmaking of the world, you queue up for Team Deathmatch, that's your game mode, or in Nintendo terms, that's your rule preferences, and then they prioritize stuff based on ping, i.e., your location and whatnot. So, back when Call of Duty, and I think they still do, has, like, peer-to-peer hosting and everything, so it's like one dude is host the lobby, they try to match you with a person and other people that are very close to you.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, it's also, as well, which was what I was going to go on to say, was the whole you're not going to be basically going to be able to play this on the go as far as online. You got to be connected to like have the best internet connection possible, kind of thing.
That
Well,
I think they kind of misconstrued that whole
I do
thing.
too.
So it's like I think they encourage the wired connection
Hmm.
just because there are some people that don't have the strongest Wi-Fi signals and whatnot. And I mean, there's nothing more frustrating. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever play like Dark Souls PvP or something
Yeah.
like that. Some dude with a garbage connection is just like lagging behind every hit or something, or the game is processing hits he made on you, even though on your end he's standing across the room or
Hmm.
something. So
Mhm.
there's nothing more frustrating than that. And I think Nintendo really wanted to cut down on that. So they really encouraged. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the prerequisites to get into, like the Challengers League or whatever they're calling it, for Smash is that you have to have a wired connection.
Yep.
I hope that's the case.
Mm.
Yeah, frankly, I never really had like an Ethernet adapter for my Wii U, and I played Smash 4 on the thing, and I never touched online because it was garbage. The connection,
Yeah.
maybe that was my end.
Yeah.
I don't know, but even when it's not my end, I've heard from plenty of people that yeah, there's always input lag. There's always that, which frankly might be unavoidable in such a twitchy game like Smash Brothers. I feel like fighting games kind of suffer from that a bit. Like
Yeah,
you're,
exactly.
for the most part, always going to experience some lag.
Mm.
The best way to play Smash Brothers is locally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I think
in any given game there is lag. It's like it even exists in like your Counter Strikes of the world. It's just how
Sure.
the game handles it and projects it is the big thing.
well,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, there's always going to be lag, but I think that certain genres are just by the very nature of their gameplay are able to handle it much better.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
Something
definitely.
Yeah.
as precise as a fighting game, yeah, like Smash Brothers just doesn't work. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, in previous version, and mostly Smash 4, because I was never able to really play Brawl online because it was garbage.
Right,
Mm.
that's true.
Even with the wired connection in Smash 4, I could only ever play for glory because any more than 2 characters would make everything lag.
Mm.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes I would get disconnects. And I understand that that's probably just because not everyone has good internet around the country, but
Yep.
it's just the way it's going to be. And then I also wanted to touch on kind of disappointed that they got rid of online tournaments.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
Right.
huge
Oh, did
thing in Smash 4, but it was just kind of a neat feature if you felt like jumping online and doing more than just random battles.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, tournament starting up at this time.
Well, I feel like in exchange for that, they mentioned in the last Smash Direct that there are a bunch of different like modes of playing Smash, regular Smash with a ton of different people. Like they have tournament mode in real life for like local play. So if you have a massive party, I prefer that any day because I'd love to have like a group of like 16 friends over if I have that many friends.
Why not both?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good. But I feel like the trade.
I would say that it's like I don't want to say it's a crux of multiplayer, but it's like it's definitely a feature you didn't quite know you wanted until it's there. Like the StarCraft 2 community begged Blizzard since 2010 to put like an automated tournament system in there so that people that were just like in matchmaking could do tournaments and whatnot just randomly, and we finally got it 6 years later. But once it hit, it's like that's part of the reason why the game got such a resurgence of growth lately,
Yeah.
because people are still just doing the tournaments and whatnot. It's a really fun thing to do.
I suppose I'm not saying that the whole multiplayer or anything is going to be absolute garbage, but I'm just worried how they're going to implement it as far as the whole online mechanics and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Particularly over here, like it's going to be tough. And like, sure, it's the same in other games, but at least with like an Xbox One or a PC or whatever, you've kind of got that constant connection kind of thing. So it seems
With Nintendo, there's always an asterisk. Trust me. There's
Right.
always.
Yeah. It seems that like they've got, to me, it kind of seems like they've got a half completed system and they're kind of relying on people to have a constant, stable internet connection. And if you don't, then you're stuffed kind of thing.
Well, I mean, in any sort of like network connection, you're only as strong as your weakest link, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like it's very unlikely that Nintendo's going to have like hitch and server infrastructure as opposed to a home internet type thing. You know?
Yeah.
Do you want to? We should talk about the private lobbies for a minute. There's Battle Arena, which I think seems to be like a really neat implementation where you can invite. I didn't notice the cap on the amount of people that you can invite into your Battle Arena.
Yeah.
I would imagine it'd be fairly large, maybe like 10, 12 people or something like that. But
8 would
basically
seem
the way it
reasonable.
works- Yeah, something reasonable like that. You can invite that many people into your lobby at the same time, right? And whenever they're not playing, they can be watching you. The 4 people that are
true.
playing,
True.
you can line them up. That seems really cool. If it'll work again, but from the premise, like seems like they're making it work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also the Smash World, which they didn't really talk about that much. But
I think that's a cool idea. That's like
Me
the
too.
evolution of Halo file share.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I'm more looking forward to the fact that, well, I mean, obviously, I just having the ability to play any sort of video of like an awesome Smash Brothers replay on my phone just sounds really, really awesome. More than that, though, they fixed the issue that your videos aren't going to be deleted the second that an update comes out now. If you didn't know, Smash 4, the way that replays, you'd press Y after a battle, right, and it'd be saved to your replays folder. Except it doesn't actually save like an MP4 or something like that. That would take up way too much space. It just saves the input commands and the RNG that went into that battle, and essentially re-simulating the entire match anytime they want to go back in. So because of that, you can pause it. You can kind of move the camera around at that point. But whenever an update comes out, all that is wiped. So from here, they mentioned you can make MP4s now and upload them to Smash World or whatever. Taylor's making a face.
How do you what? How? That was a thing?
It's
How
because
do you
It was the thing.
program
It was
that
awful.
like that?
It was
because
awful.
of the rebalancing.
Why would that
changes how-
happen?
It changes
was
how the
awful.
inputs work then, and then it messes up the old recordings.
That
I know,
is beyond stupid.
Oh dear.
As a PC gamer, yeah, I definitely I know your pain there, but
Well,
like,
I mean, that's how pretty much every replay system in games work, is that it just reruns the simulation based on the logs taken from the game. But it's just
Right.
a version changes. Oh God, Nintendo.
it was bad.
What?
It was really bad. Yeah.
It's actually just like the first time I noticed that was actually in Project M, because if you tried to save a replay in there, if you ever did like a waveland or a wave dash, it would just destroy the entire recording, since that's
Really?
Oh dear.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's really, really cool.
Suddenly it just starts killing themselves, and it makes no sense.
All right, so at least it looks like Nintendo learned basic networking now. That's
Yeah. What do you know?
Yeah.
I just want to say though, going back to Smash World for a bit, they did say that this is getting a lot of updates once it comes out. I think they said it's coming out after launch, like January or so.
Mhm.
That really leaves some room for some cool stuff to come into this. Right now, I'm just kind of like whatever, videos and everything. That's cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, whatever. But what if they like added in a thing where like I'm just offline, I'm out, I'm on my phone. What if I could just watch my friend play, or what if I wanted to watch a pro play? Like, if they add that kind of stuff in there, that's some really cool
Yeah.
connection stuff.
That'd be great.
But then again, we come back to it's Nintendo, and would it work?
They're not that
Unfortunately,
expensive.
it's like that's one of those things where they would probably have to build it from the ground up, and it's like, and from the get-go also to integrate like that.
Yeah.
So unless they've been thinking about that already, then we might not see it.
I suppose they could introduce like a feature on the app where you got to pay for it, kind of thing. But then, yeah, I don't know if that would work or not.
Or maybe your Switch online subscription lets you do it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. All right. So past the online play and everything, okay. Let's see here. Next up is assist trophies. So we got to look at a few different assist trophies. It turns out there will be more assist trophies than Pokeballs this time around. Some of the new looked at that we got was Spring Man from what's that?
Arms.
Arms. Thank you. Dr. Wily from Mega Man. The Mario paint flies in hand, which I thought was
This
pretty
is
funny.
the best. It's the best. Yeah.
And then Guile from Street Fighter. I was
This one
pretty
is
hyped
also
when
great.
I saw him. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's also great because he just sits in the same spot and does like the what do you call it? Oh gosh, the move where you hold down and you go up and kick, which is kind of how like Street Fighter competitive Guile works.
Yeah.
Just in general, which is kind of funny.
It was
He
pretty
doesn't
memey.
actually move around. Yeah, it was very memey for sure. But
And to further discredit the Grinch League, Isaac from Golden Sun, which the Grinch League asserted was going to be like a playable hero, is actually an assist trophy.
womp 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 womp.
Yeah,
I know Shadow, which is good.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good.
I honestly think Shadow is the most believable part of that whole thing, but whatever.
Probably.
Anyway, so John, what assist trophy is your favorite so far? I think that's a reasonable question to ask.
Well, I mean, assist trophies. I mean, I've never really cared about in the past.
Amen.
I mean, they're cool. It's
Yeah.
awesome, and I mean, they tried making a big deal about, oh, there's more of these than Pokeballs. It's just another version of Pokeballs. Like, you're just bringing in another element, and these ones can even give the other players points, unlike Pokemon. So,
Yeah.
I know they said that there was this new thing in there where you could like cancel them out before the other team gets a point, but like that seems like more of a reason for me to avoid using assist trophies. If it could just, let's say, oh, okay, I'm getting 1 out of 59. What if one of these 59 just sits there for for the enemy to just pound on and knock off the stage? So,
yeah.
I don't know. They're cool, but none of them really excite me so far. Maybe the Monster Hunter one that they announced earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks cool, but other than that, I don't really see much use for them myself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good case, though, isn't it? Because, like, there are guys like yourself who are like, oh, just to be like these straight-on battles between the Smashers and everything. But then there are guys like myself who is basically, let's do Pokeballs, assist trophies, just all-out chaos sort of thing in a fight. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and you could just set up the settings because there's a billion different settings. You could just have assist trophies only. Let's have a war between assist trophies. Like I used to do that with Pokemon all the time. Like you can only get Pokemon, and that's the only way you can damage each other. Like that, that kind of stuff is fun.
Yeah. Omar, any assist trophies strike your fancy?
Yeah, there are actually 3 that came to mind, and actually 2 of them are together, which would be Shovel Knight and Moon.
Okay.
Just the Moon because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It just destroys everything. And then Shovel Knight because it's awesome to see indie characters in Smash Bros. Even though he's not playable, it's nice to see him represented in there.
I agree. I was actually kind of confused because I saw a character named Black Knight in there for a sec. I was like,
Yep.
yeah, that's not from Shovel Knight though. That's from Fire Emblem.
Yep, Fire Emblem.
Yep.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. Yeah.
Yeah, the third one would be Tiki. She was just one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters, and it's cool to see a little dragon in the game.
Yeah.
To get all swords from Fire Emblem.
Yeah. So that chick from that photograph thing, looked really cool also. Where it took a picture and like it kind of stunned that area. Yeah. John, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying, I don't know who Tiki is. Did she start out as like a normal human and then turn into the dragon? Or
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought was going on with her, but I was like, okay.
We are now transitioning into the Fire Emblem lore portion of this podcast.
Oh no.
No. Okay.
Welcome to Fire Emblem Ultimate.
Okay. Anthony, assist trophy? Anything you like?
No, not really. I'm not into the whole assist trophy thing. As John said, I'd probably just be like more one-on-one. All these hacks for noobs are not down my street. I'm no professional.
Fair enough. And then Ethan, what's you like?
I'm one-on-one, baby, all the way. One-on-one, no items.
Yeah, that's how it
Boss
should
only,
be.
Final destination. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Boss only. Okay.
Well, I
Alright.
love items. I just don't like that the assist trophies can help your enemy. That just seems dumb to me.
Sure.
Just play stocks and you'll be fine.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. All right, so a little bit of random tidbits before we get into a little bit more of a structured announcement. All-Star mode is back. Anyone super excited about that?
Yes.
I liked All-Star. Yeah, I liked it.
Sure.
It's a mode to go back to. I'll play it.
All right.
Yeah.
Challenge mode also returns, and they definitely have a neat way of presenting like the challenges you've completed.
Yeah.
They likened it to a comic book. What do you guys think about that?
I would like
cool.
it more if each page actually formed a single image instead of just kind of like a
smattering.
collage.
Yeah.
Of just,
Oh, I like the collage more.
images.
I like the collage more. Do you remember that the 3DS Street Pass game, but where you gotta like street pass like a ton of
Yes.
people? And I
Oh,
didn't like that. I did.
I haven't checked that. for a while.
Don't trigger
Me
me,
neither.
please.
What?
Don't
Wait,
trigger me about that one.
Yeah, that one's alright. I like challenges. I think they work, which is weird considering I normally like achievements. But I feel like these are well integrated enough into the game, and Smash Brothers already kind of feels like a collection, like a compilation instead of a world. So it works well, I think.
Yeah. And then there's, I think the biggest like little random tidbit here is that there's this in-game currency system. It's the Smash Brothers Gold, and there's like a dog tag system for multiplayer.
Yeah.
So it's like if you beat someone, you get their dog tag, so to speak. I think they call it like a smash tag or whatever, or like fire tag.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But,
And
but
like-
if you lose, you don't lose it.
Right, exactly. Again, Nintendo hates taking things
Exactly,
away.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Which, you know, is a fair way of doing stuff.
yeah.
But anyway, so it's like you can sell these for in-game gold, and I guess with the in-game gold you can get like music and stuff. Did I get that right? Oh, and spirits. Music and spirits.
I wonder if they'll open it up where you can kind of do, like, buy DLC with in-game gold. Like, if you get enough in-game gold, then you can get, or unlock, like, a new world or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I doubt they'll
Maybe.
do that because Nintendo likes their money, so...
Maybe.
It's a good point.
Yeah. And then 11 languages. So if you want to play the game in Japanese, because we all know you on that weeb action, then go ahead.
Hayagazamas.
the new
Yeah.
the new off-screen radar can be. What is the off-screen radar?
Okay, so off-screen radar. I really, really love this feature. The way where
Yep. Okay.
I'm nerdy. Okay, so the way this works, you know how whenever normally you go off the edges of the screen or off the blast zone, there's a moment where you can't really tell if you're gonna get knocked off entirely or not because you have to go a bit past the edge of the screen in order to get knocked out, right? Well,
Yeah.
what the off-screen radar does is anytime one of the characters goes off of the blast zone, this little radar appears up at the top, showing in like a little box in relativity how far they are away from the actual blast zone,
Okay.
as opposed to the screen. It's genius. It works really, really well from what I've seen. I can't wait to use it.
Why would you want to turn that off?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Well,
Why would you want to?
Well, you also have the option of making it a little smaller. It's
Okay.
It's like a
Yeah, okay.
process there. So-
It could sort of get in the way if you get knocked up to the upper right corner of the screen where it displays.
Sure.
But
You think they'd be smart enough to program it depending on which area of the screen?
yeah, it would probably go to the opposite side. I
it
would
might
think.
even go transparent if you're behind it. But
I don't know.
Are
Okay.
the small one looks small enough where it wouldn't get in the way.
All right. And then if you're into the Mii Fighter stuff, you got plenty of outfits for
Yeah.
it, including some
Oh, yeah.
some new Blade Chronicle stuff. Anyway, so DLC. It's like we're gonna get like 5 DLC packs, so to speak. They're gonna be each pack is gonna have a new character, a new map, and some music tracks
Yeah.
like relevant to the character and map, I'd imagine, right?
Mhm.
They're gonna be $5.99 each, or you can
Season pass.
you can buy like a season pass type thing for $25, which by the
Yeah.
way was the same price for the Zelda season pass. That was certainly worth it.
It was $20, I think.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, it was worth it. But
Yes. Absolutely.
yeah, just the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC was absolutely fantastic. So yeah,
Such a
Nintendo's
motorcycle.
yes, that's being so useful. Oh my god. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo, they're dipping back into the realm of DLC again, which to me kind of indicates even further that it's like this game's gonna have a really long life cycle. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's like this game's
Yeah.
gonna receive a ton of support.
They said it's going to take about a year to release all of these. Did we say there would be 5? So yeah, about a year or so. So yeah, that's a decent lifespan for sure. And obviously the game's going to continue long after that. So
I don't
Yeah.
reckon that's a decent lifespan. It should be going for longer than that. I mean, look
That's
at a Ubisoft game. Like, look at, for instance,
Right.
Rainbow Six.
Siege. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still going, and it's like 4 years old now, or 3 years old.
Well, the way I kind of understood it was that Sakurai was pretty much saying, we have 5 plans so far, and we're open to having more.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't expressly say that, but that's kind of the feel I got for it. Was all right. We have plans for 5. After that, we're open to more. So
You know what? I kind of
Yeah,
appreciate the Smash Brothers approach to DLC. It seems in the modern world, in 2018, any DLC program, any monetization program that doesn't include microtransactions and doesn't include like a boatload of this stuff,
Pay to
it just
win.
seems kind of quaint. It seems quaint. Like honestly, it just seems like Nintendo, kind of being behind the curve. It's cute for now, and even though it's not, I know it's weird, but even though it's not gonna continue to go on for like 5 years or whatever, it's not this boggled down mess that Rainbow Six Siege's monetization is, or CS:GO or whatever.
Listen, Oh, okay.
That's refreshing.
You know
It's refreshing.
nothing about CS:GO's monetization then. But anyway,
It's refreshing.
I will say, at risk of sounding like a Nintendo apologist or something, I will say that, as you mentioned, being behind the curve a little bit, they've kind of seen how not to do DLC.
Yeah.
Because, they've watched from afar and back, how
Destiny.
all these other
Good point.
people react to all these other monetization models and everything.
Horse
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Nintendo understands not only how to, it's like what doesn't work when marketing it, but they've been able to figure out what works for marketing it, and they're gradually experimenting with it. Like the Breath of the Wild DLC was a massive experiment for them to see whether or not how people would react and whatnot. And it's like by and large, the DLC reaction to that to Breath of the Wild was positive. And even back with Breath of the Wild DLC, Nintendo wants it to make clear that it's like we're not really pressuring you guys to buy this, but if you feel like, and I even alluded to this in the direct, it's like if you feel like you're getting solid value out of this, then it's like please, go ahead. But if not, then no worries, man.
Yeah, and Sakurai also seemed to really put a point in that he's like, if you guys believe in us, only buy this. Like, if you don't believe in us, hold off. Like, it's cool. Like, we can't announce it yet, but because we haven't even started working on them. But if you believe in us, then yeah.
And then relating to that point also, it's like this DLC seems like something that came very late during the game's development cycle. Like, it was certainly not something they planned on from the beginning or something. This seemed something that was a fairly recent development. There's like, all right, this is how we could do this. But, in the direct, it was just like, let's get through the launch first. Let's get through everything first, Let's just get the game on its feet first, and then we can talk about adding stuff onto it.
Right. I was so surprised whenever he said that. Like, he just straight up says in the direct, hey, don't buy our DLC if you don't want to, which is just something. It's just so raw. I feel like, which I felt like the entire tone of the direct was like, he referenced like we as the developers have been working on this really hard, and I just thought that kind of personable tone. I think with all these Smash Bros. Directs, Sakurai himself is kind of like the face of Smash Bros. And to a point where like I feel like a lot of like the internet at large is kind of worried about the guy, for working himself so hard.
I think he looked like he needed a nap.
Yes,
I know. He's like, I wonder if I'll ever get a break.
I know.
But that's not something you say. And like that's something that like you leave to marketing. You don't say, hey, don't buy your DLC if you don't want to. Nobody says that.
Well, the thing is, if you actually think about it, if people wait and then they have to buy everything separately, they get
that's a good point.
There is more there, yeah.
No,
That's a good point.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like even though the Zelda DLC has come and gone, you can still buy the season pass and get it at the discounted price, right?
Yeah, that's the only way to buy it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is the way to buy it.
I saw some small text at the bottom of the video that the Fighter Pass, as I think was what it's called, was going to no longer be available sometime in like February 2020 or something.
Okay.
Really? That's
no, that's similar. I saw that similar text. They said it's like they're upward bound for until all these things are released. Is like this is content until about February 2020. So there are some like light projection plans as to when they want to release the stuff, but nothing super solid yet. Gotcha. And so I think they put that there as a very high upper bound.
Okay.
I saw the same thing he was talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
backtrack just a moment. I think that you said that Nintendo has been watching for the DLC for a long time. I think probably the first instance of their DLC was Mario Kart 8 for Wii U, right?
I think, yeah.
Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
true.
Well, that's a little bit different, I guess. But in the case of Mario Kart 8, at least, that was one of their earlier DLC endeavors. That was a really meaty, substantial DLC. Like, it was like, what? Something.
Yeah,
it was-
BMWs.
Yes, it was great. Mercedes. Like, they partnered with Mercedes. It was the greatest thing. And I think they have nailed DLC out of the park. I just hope they never venture into microtransactions.
I mean, how many DLCs has Zelda had? Breath of the Wild, just one,
2.
correct? Two.
Just 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And you
is
can
that
only get them through the season pass.
is that actually like still? It's not. I suppose you could kind of look at it as like a dead game. Like people are still playing it, very much so. But
Yeah,
they're
my
not.
friend, she bought a Switch in Breath of the Wild, brand new, just the other day.
Yeah,
you know?
but they're not still supporting it as far as like,
Well,
they're
I mean,
not still
that's-
doing
no, that's
DLC.
It's a single-player game, so.
The Nintendo president did also recently come out and say that he wants DLC for the major
Yeah, that's right.
titles,
Yeah.
and people were taking that as they're looking at maybe Zelda and Mario Odyssey DLCs
Okay.
to still come.
So with that,
I
what
could definitely predict like a big DLC expansion pack for Breath of the Wild to come around. You
That
know.
would be awesome.
yeah, true.
Anyway,
I mean,
yeah,
with
Anthony, keep going.
with mainstream games, you kind of expect it, whereas Nintendo kind of do their own thing. What I worry about though is like Zelda's. When I say it's a dead game, I mean like they're not supporting it as of yet. They may do stuff in future, but right now they're not. I'm just worried that they might do the same thing with Smash, as far as it might go for a year and then stop this not supporting it anymore because they're working on future stuff. But
Well, I will say,
Well, you
I
know,
think
Smash has the luxury of having, you know, this online service and everything. It has
Yeah.
the luxury of having
that is kind of
matchmaking.
like comparing apples to oranges, I think.
And-
Yeah, they are very different things. Where Zelda is, they built this entire world and they gave you the entire experience that they could really give you at that time in here. Go out, get these shrines, do this adventure. Here, you can play Smash endlessly and still have a different outcome like every time between your fighters, all the stages, and everything. So
how long did they support Smash 4 for? Not very long.
Ooh.
Quite a while.
Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, but
Yeah.
still, it's not really like 2 years. I suppose.
No,
And
but
then
then
they
again, that
started.
was just when
Yeah,
that was just when Nintendo was, you know, kind of getting their
getting
feet
into
wet, so to
DLC.
speak.
And also, that's 2 years on the Wii U, which is an eternity.
True.
That was,
True.
Yeah.
It's hell.
True.
Yeah, it's hell.
Okay, well, you never know, I suppose.
All right, and then this is kind of strange to me. So if you pre-order the game, you get Piranha Plant, PD Piranha, and then
free!
It's
he's not
well,
even coming out on the game release though.
No, it's you can actually get him until they mentioned it in the live stream afterwards, and they said that he's available until like January 31st. So you can get him after the game. It's just like a limited time thing. He's not coming until like February, I think, but he's completely free.
Okay.
Pre-order bonus. There you go.
So what do you guys think of the Piranha as? Yeah.
4 words: unwanted, unexpected, unmerited, but awesome. And I'm totally surprised by it, and I absolutely love it now.
Okay.
I never knew I wanted Piranha Plant so much, but this is like it's like the dumbest, goofiest character you could possibly put in Smash, and I think that's great. Maybe like Mr. Game & Watch was probably like the second most dumbest character you could put in Smash Brothers, but they already did that.
Well, if I can do a giant hand, they can do a giant plant with teeth. Why not?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it
All
seems
right.
like the last character they reveal is always something bizarre, like
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Game & Watch, and then I don't remember what it was in Brawl, but then
Rob, maybe, probably.
Rob.
Yeah. Match 4.
All right. So last big thing to unpack is the adventure mode, World of Light. Of course, Kirby survives. You know.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but
Always.
okay, that. Yeah.
We're burying the lead here. Shouldn't
What's up?
that they put in place?
You need to repeat what you just said.
Yeah, you cut
Oh,
out there.
sorry, my bad. I think we're kind of burying the lead here. Everyone died.
Dude, That cinematic was insane.
It was great. All of these
Don't tell
cinematics are insane.
Don't tell me you had no feelings watching all of your favorite childhood heroes die in front of your face with no chance to fight back. They were destroyed. They had no chance to win.
Well, you see, they didn't really die.
No, they didn't really die.
They
That's true.
Thanos.
They just got their souls taken from them.
Exactly. No, they didn't really die.
Undertale.
It's like they Thanos died. Okay, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's like
Think about that.
like, the people that got
The
turned
two-
to dust aren't actually.
Think
dead,
about
you
it.
know?
The two biggest crossovers of the entire year, and in both, like almost all the people died. How
Yeah,
coincident is that?
2018
Yeah.
is the year where we bring everyone together just to kill them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
2016
yeah,
was the year where we bring everyone together, where they fight with Civil War and Suicide Squad. Now this is the year where we kill everybody,
yeah.
Justice
That-
League killed
except for Kirby.
aliens.
Except for Kirby.
Oh,
Didn't they do the
That-
same kind of
Wow.
thing in Brawl? Oh, I did
Kind
some-
of, but- Kind of, but like this animation had so much more polish to it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It had stuff like
Yes.
voice acting, pretty
It was
neat
so
CG
cool.
effects. It had
Even-
Mario Odyssey-esque voice singing in the background. Vocals in
Marth
the
had an
background.
English voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what the hell
That
was that?
That
Whoa.
was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like they could have made any other character there talking. It would have made more sense.
But no. Hey guys, Marth has an English voice. What?
I feel like a lot of the times, you know, like when you think of like these epic, sweeping cinematic cutscenes, like the world building cutscenes, you think like Blizzard, right? With things like Overwatch and World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But Nintendo Smash Brothers cutscenes, their marketing campaigns, there is so much money put into those animations. I guarantee it. Just like the Smash for Wii U animations alone leading up to that game, they were phenomenal. They're so
Yeah.
good at that.
I started counting up the dollar signs when we had scenes of all of them on the cliff and everything, just the pure amount of rendering that would have
Oh
had to
my
go into
gosh.
it. You know, it's like I started counting the dollars.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the single player mode. It looks hype as hell. The image at the end of, you know, like the soulless Mario with the red eyes type thing, you kind of got an idea as to how it's gonna go
Nightmares.
down. You know, you're basically gonna have to rescue them from their nightmare or whatever, right?
Guys.
And it'll help you.
It turns out this entire podcast was useless because this is the next Kirby game.
Oh,
This is the next Kirby game. I don't know what we were looking forward to, but Smash Ultimate might be the best Kirby game since Planet Robot, and I'm really looking forward to
that
it.
is a hot take. Wow.
I mean, I kind of see this as like a rip-off of Smash 4. Not Smash 4, sorry, Brawl. Because Kirby survived
Oh.
in Brawl, you know, they all went...
Wait, is that right?
Well, that's just Sakurai.
That's true.
They
Like,
all,
honestly.
they all kind of like went red eye, I suppose you could say. You had to fight them and then free them and all that. So it's kind of the same thing. Not to deduct from, you know, it's an awesome cutscene or whatever. But
No, I gotcha.
yeah,
It's like it's more the same, but I don't really see any other formula working out for a single player campaign in a fighting game like that. You know.
true.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's fair. I think they did say it's this one is going to be less about the story, which doesn't sit too well with me because I actually really like Subspace Emissary. I might be in the minority there. But
it's fine, I guess. You know. It's just,
yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Wasn't 4 less about the story? Couldn't they go like 1 about the story, 1 less about the story?
Well,
1
4 didn't
a
have
lot
a
about
story.
the
That's the thing. 4 didn't have a story at all. This
Yeah,
has
yeah. Mm.
some representation of an adventure. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. I think. The thing is, I just don't know much about it. Like, it looks really cool from the brief moments I saw of it, but like, I can't really tell much.
Yeah.
Did you guys do
Alright.
anything?
I mean, nothing too major.
I can appreciate that they didn't show off too much about it, just because if it's anything like Subspace Emissary, then I don't want to have all those cutscenes spoiled.
Yeah,
You
want
know,
Yeah,
at
that's
least
fair.
this is the one
That's fair.
part of the game we don't know absolutely everything about, and I'm very glad about that.
And,
Yeah, that's
and
great.
Sakurai did tell us to let our imaginations go wild on it. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
That part concerned me a bit, because then it made me think, well, what if there aren't actually a ton of cutscenes and it's just...
I don't know.
Yeah.
The cutscenes that they've been putting out with every trailer really makes me think that there's going to be quite a few.
What if they're like, hey, let your imagination go wild, and then it releases, hey guys, there's no story. All that time imagining for nothing, enjoy.
Yeah, it's all just trying. Well, no, that would be the perfect thing, right? It's like, imagine your own story as to why all this is happening based on these loose guidelines that we're providing for you in the form of really pretty cutscenes.
It makes me think of like the adventure, or sorry, not the adventure mode, but the event mode descriptions of like I go back to Melee. It's like make up your own story for this thing instead.
Yeah. The structure of like the overworld map looks kind of like classic mode from Smash 3DS.
Yeah.
Who remembers that? That's what seems the closest comparison there.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
All right. So I think that about wraps things up, except one last little thing for you guys. So starting with you there, John, what was your favorite thing to take out of this direct?
Oh, I mean, probably that story mode got me the most excited. Like, I didn't care too much for Subspace Emissary. I thought it was kind of dull, really, overall.
Yeah.
That whole cinematic, though, I mean, like I went on a rant earlier, it's my childhood heroes got destroyed there. Like,
died.
Like, they start off all confident and everything. Yeah, we can do this. Don't worry, guys. We're the heroes. We always win. No.
Then the Shulk
you guys got utterly destroyed. Like, you had no chance.
Yeah, I got at the scene where had like the Nightmare Mario and company and whatnot. I got flashbacks to that one Twilight Princess cutscene, where it's like raining the lifeless links or whatever from the sky.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. All right, Omar, what was your favorite takeaway off this whole thing?
I'm just excited to get the game and start.
Me too.
I'm so ready.
Just seeing that you talked about it before already, but just seeing that tiny roster, just 8 characters, and then expanding to 74, it's just that.
I'm ready for that ride.
Let's see. I don't know if other people wanted to touch on it before we were finished up, but like we talked about the DLC characters. Did we have any predictions?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I want to make predictions. Let's do that.
Oh okay.
You wanna do it?
All right. Really quick.
Okay. Here's what we should do. There are 5 of us. There are 5 of us. 5 packs. Each one say 1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who starts?
Anyone go. Charge.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay, I got one. I got Rundus from Metroid Prime 3.
Crikey.
Okay. I like
dear
it.
me. I would probably go Banjo-Kazooie as well, just because I don't know.
Okay, well, I
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
something different.
Dear.
Think about it.
I'm thinking about mine. While he's thinking about it, I got one for you. Crash Bandicoot.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
That'd be
yeah,
oh, actually, no, I got a better one. That would make more sense. It'd be Silet for Metroid Prime. Technically Hunters, but it looks like you might have a role in 4 based on an ending scene in Metroid Prime 3. So depending on how these timelines try to converge here, I think Silet as a Smash character would be awesome. So.
Sean reckons Spyro.
I'm going. Don't laugh. I think I'm gonna go with Leon Kennedy from the Resident Evil because
I could see that.
Yeah. It was Resident Evil 4 and 0 and 1 all coming to Switch. So
yeah.
I mean,
he has guns.
I know.
Is Boo in Smash?
No.
No. Okay, look. Here's the thing: if there's an assist trophy of the lady from Fatal Frame in Smash Brothers, Leon Kennedy has no problem making it. I guarantee that.
Yeah. Okay. Omar, what's your prediction?
Prince of Sable. It will never happen, but that's what I want.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, I take back everything. Chrono. Sorry. My bad.
John,
yeah, heck yeah.
John, what's your?
I mean, Banjo-Kazooie is my number 1. Like, my big hope is that at XO18 here in about a week, that Phil Spencer comes up and he's like, "Oh, and yeah, we have our friend Masahiro Sakurai here from Nintendo to show you. Oh, look, it's Banjo-Kazooie!" Like, that'd be
We pulled him out of the
amazing.
development basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Nintendo now owns him again.
We let him out of his cage.
I mean, my biggest hope from the DLC, since they announced that each character is getting a world and the music associated with that character, it really makes me think that it's 5 people not really from this roster.
Okay, so like completely unrelated type thing.
Yeah, like they're just gonna pull in more people. Like, okay, here comes Banjo, here comes Crash Bandicoot, here comes Spyro. Like, that's my dream scenario. That's not gonna happen because that's insane. Even though this game is already completely bonkers, but it's my dream.
I think reasonably we could also see a Dark Souls character in one of them, like a Solaire or something, you know.
Sure.
Anyway, Anthony, did you settle on a prediction?
Chunky Kong. Why not?
There we go.
But he's dead.
Oh well.
Wait, did you say Chunky Kong?
I'm sure they can.
Donkey
Yeah.
Kong.
I'm sure they can
But he's
resurrect
It's been
dead.
a while since we've seen him.
I reckon.
Why not Funky Kong? Funky Kong is so much better.
Oh no,
Okay.
it's not.
Yes.
And then
What do you wanna
Anthony,
fight,
what was
dear?
your favorite thing to pull out of this?
Hey, what?
Anthony, what was your favorite thing to pull out? What was your favorite thing to pull out of
Story
this?
mode, any day.
Alright.
It's the only element that they haven't spoiled, and I like my games where they don't spoil everything. So hopefully they can keep a lid on it until it comes out, and they've give people a massive, great big story mode like they had in the Wii version.
All right, fair enough. Ethan.
But you know, I've always wanted to play Smash Brothers in Russian, so I'm just really looking for 11 languages. No, but honestly, I was genuinely surprised by Piran Plant, and I hate that he's getting so much hate on Twitter.
Is he really?
He
Yeah,
is.
there's a lot of people.
He's
that
getting
hate him.
destroyed. He's getting destroyed,
Why?
demolished, man. I know. Just leave the poor little
Is it the
Dimension
Waluigi
flower
thing again?
alone, okay?
Is it the
What?
Waluigi thing again? Are people
it's-
upset that he's in it, but Waluigi isn't it?
Yes,
Mostly, yeah.
that's exactly it. That is exactly it. And for that alone, I think he deserves my respects. And I
You people don't deserve Waluigi. Like,
No.
you guys have to understand that. If you're sending
We don't
death
want
threats to
Waluigi. Waluigi's crap. He sucks. There, I said it. He's the worst Nintendo character ever.
Yeah, you know what? Redirect all your death threats to Sakurai about not having Waluigi over to somewhere else. Like, go get a punching bag or something, you know? It's
Direct
like-
it to Taylor. Taylor volunteers this tribute.
Piranha Plant has way more history than Waluigi, anyways.
Also, that too. Yeah. Waluigi is a garbage character, and he doesn't belong in Smash. There, I said
He's
it.
trash. He looks like trash.
Fine. I don't agree, but anyway.
Okay. Anyway, Ethan, where can the good people find you on social media?
Well, real quick before I say that, I got two things I want to say real quick. In case you're really looking forward to Smash Brothers, which I doubt you wouldn't be if you're listening to the podcast, the official Smash Ultimate GameCube controllers come out tomorrow, a month in advance of it. I have 4 pre-ordered because I'm a maniac and I'm tired of giving my friends pro controllers to play Smash Brothers. Also, kind of random tidbit: the namesake for Mario died the other day. Mario. I forgot his name, but he was able to. Yeah, that's him.
Geeky or something.
Mario.
The property
Seagal.
owner of
Yep,
Nintendo.
Seagal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died at age 84 the other day, so I thought that
Aw.
was interesting to know. But anyway, on that side note, you can find me at Linkachoo. LINKACHU.
All right. Anthony, how about yourself?
Nowhere really. I'm not
Alright.
doing Twitter anymore. I haven't been on it for a week or two, so
Oh, wow.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, fair enough. You had zoomed in for nothing.
Yeah.
Omar, what you got?
Twitter, you can find me at OBBANAT.
All right. Awesome.
First
And
initial, middle initial, last name.
okay. And then John.
On Twitter, I am at Revik Shadows, and if you want to check out my personal YouTube channel, it is also Revik Shadows, or you can just go to youtube.com/JohnJW92.
All right. Fair enough. I can be found at Infurious Elecon on Twitter. And then a little bit of a programming note. Retro Rumble's happening tomorrow, right?
Correct.
All right. What's their topic?
Horror. I nearly
All the
forgot
topics.
then.
You know what? That's fine. It'll happen around 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. Twitch.tv/Culture of Gaming, where you might be right now if you're listening to my voice. And then Saturday, we got the Power Up podcast. It'll be episode 44. Not sure what the topics or the guests will be quite yet, as we've had to plan quite a few different podcast events this past week. So we're still getting that worked out. But anyway, that'll happen. And I think we're doing the giveaway for October at the end of that one.
You're getting pretty close to. You're getting pretty close to the big 50. You playing anything special?
No, not quite yet.
Oh,
Not quite.
When we
you
get
gotta think about that in advance.
when we get
Yeah.
to 52, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think 52 would be really solid.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, because I'm pretty sure that's when BlizzCon wraps up, or it's like BlizzCon will wrap up on Saturday.
right.
Sunday, we're gonna do a BlizzCon podcast, aftermath podcast.
I will not be there.
I
Damn.
will.
Okay.
Damn, okay. So yeah, so we're gonna start casting for that pretty soon.
I think
Anyway,
we've
so
already
this
got our
weekend-
people lined up.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Who's coming?
John, Mike, sorry. John, Mike, you, and who was the other guy? Can't remember. There's one other
All
person as well.
Mike?
Kevin?
Yeah, Mike Sol.
A human being
Okay,
that
it was
exists.
Mike. Okay.
Yeah, he
All right, so yeah, that's what we got going there. And so yeah, and then also Andrew, who you might know from the Power Up podcast, the third seat, the regular seat there. He is doing a 24-hour Extra Life charity stream on his Twitch channel. So go hit him up for those details and go hang out with him as he stays up 24 hours. All in the name of helping the hospital, though.
Yeah.
So it's a
that's
good
awesome.
cause. Donate to him if you
That's
can. It all goes to charity. And yeah, he's been playing some games. The Power Up podcast on Saturday will actually correspond to part of it. So he's going to stream himself doing the podcast, which will be kind of interesting. So
Huh.
So,
All right.
This is weird.
yeah. Anyway,
Good in it.
thank you guys so much for watching. I think we're all excited for Smash Brothers. Anthony,
That's
will you
an
buy it
understatement.
now?
yeah, when I get a Switch eventually.
All right. Awesome. Fair
Yeah.
enough. So we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.